The first course by Julian Serrano in Las Vegas features sautéed langoustine coated with vinaigrette and served with a Spanish vegetable dish called Pisto. Then from Phoenix, Roxsand Scocos offers a main course salad of confit duck, chow mein noodles, caramelized pecans, and mixed greens with strawberry vinaigrette. Gorringe offers dessert from the New Orleans area. It's a plum tart featuring an unusual dough, yeast leavened kuchen wrapped around sweet pastry dough. Picasso in the swanky Bellagio Hotel at Las Vegas is a virtual art gallery with pieces by the great master throughout. The food from its kitchen is also superb. Julian Serrano is the artist and is one of the few Las Vegas chefs who has lived up to his PR. His first course is langoustine with Pisto.
The red pepper with the garlic and the onions.
The chef begins the Pisto.
It's very important to cook it slowly to release all the flavors. These are the langoustine, and it's very similar like the baby lobster. In Spain they call cigalas, and in different places they call different things. Like in Norway they call the Norwegian lobster, but here in the States we call it langoustines. And you peel like a regular shrimp or lobster, you take out the head, take out the meat, and just crack a little bit. And really relieve all the scales very gentle. And we want to leave the tail there. So we cook it slowly, and at this point put the thyme. And the reason we put the whole garlic, this way we can relieve after the cooking, we can take out the garlic and we can throw it away. We continue to cook it slow. We have the eggplants here. We cut this about 30 minutes ago, and we put salt. The salt, what they do is absorb, they take out all the water for the eggplant, like you see, all the water is there. And we just press there, and they release all the water. We're going to put in the oil zucchinis, the red pepper and the onions is done, nice color, nice golden color. I like it to cook in the zucchinis separate, because this way they can get their own personal flavor, like the same thing that we do with the lobster salad. We release from here. Mix, salt, pepper. We add salt and pepper to this because, like you know, the eggplants already have a salt, and we don't want to put salt again. In other words, they're going to get very salty. Cook the eggplant for yourself. There, to cook in this way, you can see all the color for cells, and they not get confused and they not get matchy also. The plants is nice. Put it all together. And we keep it on the side. And we want to cook in the langoustine. The langoustine is very nice seafood. It's very juicy and very tender. The only problem with the langoustine is the family. After one day, they get very soft, very mochi. I mean, it's very important to cooking when they are very fresh.
Now the balsamic lemon vinaigrette.
We have a little bit of balsamic. It's about 75-year-old. Yes, touch. You have to really careful to use this balsamic vinegar because its concentration is very strong. Like you see, it's very thick. Like you see, you don't have to put so much. Yes. Toss the olive oil. And the lemon. You can put the lemon. One lemon is enough. Salt. And pepper. Pepper. And when the oil is very hot, we land in the langoustine in the corner. We put this way because we wanted the langoustine to take the shape, because I want to show you the way we want to put on the plate. We're cooking.
The chef uses a ring mold for the pisto.
Only we cooking on one side to make it crispy. This the langoustine, they only take not too long to cook it. In other words, if you cook it so much, they get very mushy, and they destroy the flavor.
The langoustines are coated with vinaigrette.
We put a little bit of balsamic lemon vinaigrette. We want to do the presentation. Put a little frisee. We finish the roasted langoustine with balsamic lemon, vinaigrette, and pisto.
Roxsand Scocos' cooking has been called fusion, which in turn has become a trop for food that can be almost anything. Her career is remarkable. No CIA, no grueling slavery in French kitchens. She just opened a restaurant and started cooking. From her namesake in Phoenix, she prepares Confit Duck Salad.
The duck will be served warm, and it will be served with caramelized pecans, chow mein noodles, jicama, tricolored bell peppers, of course the shredded confit of duck, and some strawberries. So we're going to start by making the confit using the duck thigh. Here we have some duck fat. So first we're going to sear the duck.
The duck leg was dusted in a mixture of cardamom, nutmeg, cloves, thyme, dried ginger, and bay leaf.
The thing that I love most about confit of duck is that it's a wonderful way to get a very tender, moist meat falling off the bone. It's very flavorful. Okay, after we've seared it, then we're going to cover it in fat. That may seem really disgusting, but it's amazingly not a fatty dish. And then what happens is we're going to allow this to barely simmer. The fat should it should not boil at all. It should just barely simmer, and that's going to take several hours. Obviously, when you do this, you would do as a large quantity as you possibly can, and confit also is a way of preserving meat, so that's something that you can do and actually hold in the refrigerator as long as it's covered with fat, and it will be preserved for even up to a year. The finished duck is here. You can see it shrinks down pretty dramatically. So I'm just going to remove the meat from the bone and shred it. I like it shredded rather than cut. I just think it has a nicer, I don't know, it's just kind of a quirky sort of thing, maybe a nicer mouthfeel.
Incidentally, this is one of those dishes that can be served either as a first course or as main course, depending on the portions.
Meanwhile, I'm making the sauce. So to make the sauce, we first need to caramelize the sugar, which is what we're doing right here. We're going to take it to a nice deep amber color, and then we'll add the balsamic vinegar. And it will immediately tighten up. The sugar will seize up, and then we need to melt that down. We'll melt it down, and we will reduce that by half. After we've done that, we'll add the fruit puree. And I've got strawberries, but any fruit in season, not any, but a fruit in season is certainly the most desirable. I've done this with nectarines, apricots, and it makes a lovely sauce. You can then go another step further and add some oil, a 1 to 3 ratio. So your base recipe will be, your base acid will be 1 part and 3 parts oil, and you should use a neutral flavored oil, not an olive oil or something like that. You should use a corn oil or a peanut oil.
The sugar is caramelized and the balsamic vinegar is added.
Yeah, be careful when you add it. Splatter. And as you can see, the sugar has solidified, and we'll just need to melt that down.
The vinegar-sugar mixture is reduced. The strawberry puree is added. Then the mixture is pulsed in a food processor. Essentially, she's making a sweet and sour sauce.
Now we're going to make our salad, and I always start with the heaviest ingredients first. And so I'm going to add the duck. It's especially nice if you heat it up, say, on the grill. And I'm going to add the sauce to the bottom of the dish. And I do that for a specific reason, so that this is, nicely seasoned. I'm adding some Julian jicama, Julian red, yellow, and green bell peppers. These are caramelized pecans. and some strawberry to sort of create a bridge in the dish. And I like adding the chow mein noodles. They've been deep fried because then you have a nice crispy quality to the salad. And then lastly, I'm adding some baby sorrel, which has been grown here locally and is organic, of course, and some baby arugula. So you have that nice little bit of lemon coming through with the sorrel, and then the little peppery sort of spiciness with the arugula, which I think goes really nicely with the fruit. And this would make a very nice, say, summer luncheon.
Zoe's pastry shop is in Covington, Louisiana, on the north shore of Lake Pontchartrain. The veteran owner-chef Shane Gorringe offers marvelous pastry, which makes a trip from New Orleans across the world's longest bridge worth it. His dessert, learned from a German chef, is a country plum tart.
This is a German country plum tart. Right now we're going to make the dough. Just throw the dry ingredients. The batter.
Dry yeast is dissolved in a little water and lukewarm milk.
Just pour it in.
Just like the midget home mixer, when a ball forms around the hook, the dough is removed.
Okay, when it's come together and we have a dough, we want to pull this out. Just push it together. Cover it.
Let the dough rest for 20 minutes.
What we're going to do with this dough that's not normally done with a yeasted dough is we're going to use the same process as puff pastry, but using sweet pastry instead of using butter. So once the dough is rested, flour the surface. We're going to just roll out the dough. We're going to take the sweet pastry, which is the same stuff you would use for your tarts, shells, and your pies. And we're just going to fold that into the dough. Then we're going to roll out. A book fold. I'm going to grease the tray. Take some cake crumb. The plums have a lot of juices when they bake in the oven, so we need to absorb some of that. Then the seeds should come right out. If they have a problem getting the seeds out, then just take a spoon or a little Parisian scoop, and you're going to slice through the plums, not all the way. We want to cover the whole pan with the plums. We have this. We're going to sprinkle cinnamon sugar all over the top.
Bake at 375 for 40 minutes or until the plums exude their juice. Let rest before cutting.
We just take a slice. And the way I like to eat it is just with a little bit of cream on the side, maybe a little mint.